Hold on, Pi Network fam. Did you catch that explosive bounce in Pi Coin's price? After weeks of crashing charts, FUD spreading faster than wildfire, and countless questions about the future of the Pi network, Pi has suddenly come back swinging, rebounding over 80% like a champion. Yes, after tumbling from its high in February, Pi Network news is lighting up again as the coin soared to $0.7375 this weekend. That's its highest level since March 31st, and that's not just some random spike, it came with daily trading volume pumping to over $700 million. That's a massive jump in interest, and traders all across the globe are waking up to this Pi Network update today. And now, hold your breath, we're looking at a potential 135% surge. Yep, that could shoot us straight past the $1 barrier, heading towards a serious resistance zone around $1.7365. We're talking Pi to $1 and beyond. But before you start dreaming of Lambos and booking flights to your future tropical Pi paradise, there's a twist. Could this rally be the real breakout we've all been waiting for? Or is it just another classic bull trap, a setup for disappointment? Let's break it down. But first, here's your cue to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below with the words, Pi Network to the moon, along with your country name so we can show just how global this pioneer community really is. Also, this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Nothing here is financial advice, so as always, die or. Alright, let's dive deep into this fiery Pi Network comeback. Not too long ago, Pi Coin was down in the dumps. We're talking an 86% crash from its February highs. The charts were bleeding red, pioneers were panicking, and even the most loyal supporters were starting to wonder, is this the end of Pi Network's mainnet dream? Pi Network today, however, tells a completely different story. Out of the blue, Pi Coin surged over 80%, blasting its way up and dragging that volume right with it. From the lows of early April to a recent peak of $0.7375, it's like someone flipped a switch. Why the sudden reversal? For starters, the broader crypto market is stabilizing. Bitcoin, BTC, bounced back to $84,000. Solana SOL rose to $130. And in the middle of rising trade tensions globally, even the Federal Reserve is sending signals that it might step in to support the economy. Boston Fed President Susan Collins told the Financial Times that intervention was on the table. All of this gave traders a sense of relief. They started scooping up assets that looked undervalued, and that's where Pi Coin enters the chat. Investors started realizing that this massive Pi crash may have been a golden opportunity, a temporary dip, a gift from the market gods. Pi crypto was suddenly back in the spotlight, not because of hype, but because of value. But market movement is just one side of the story. There's also speculation heating up around a major Pi network listing. And the spotlight is on Binance. Let me repeat that, Pi Network. Binance listing rumors are gaining traction again. In February, the Binance community actually approved a potential listing of Pi Network, sending shockwaves across the crypto space. And we all know what happens when Binance gets involved. Liquidity explodes, user base expands, and coins often fly. But Binance isn't the only one sniffing around. The Pi Coin price action is also drawing attention from Coinbase, Kraken, and Upbit. Why? Because exchanges like OKX and MEXC are currently collecting massive trading fees from Pi's wild activity. And the big players don't want to sit back and watch that happen for too long. Add to that the rising buzz about Pi Network exchange integration. If more exchanges decide to onboard Pi, the exposure could skyrocket, further legitimizing the ecosystem. Now here's where it gets spicy. Token burning. There are growing whispers in the community about Pi Network implementing token burns. This could be a huge game changer. Why? Because right now, new tokens are constantly entering the market via unlocks and mining rewards. This increases supply, which often drags prices down, but if burning is activated, that introduces deflationary pressure. Think about it. Fewer coins in circulation, more scarcity, more demand, and potentially higher prices. This could be the spark that sends Pi flying way beyond $1.73. So now we've got rising volume, rebound momentum, exchange rumors, and a deflation strategy brewing. That's a pretty bullish combo. Let's talk technical analysis, shall we? On the 4-hour chart, Pi formed a falling wedge, a classic bullish reversal pattern. From February to early April, prices kept getting tighter and tighter, until, boom! The breakout happened and Pi shot past the key resistance of $0.7385, which it hadn't touched since March. This move is even more significant because the price has now risen above the 50-period moving average. That's a strong signal that bulls are back in control. Indicators are also lining up beautifully. The Relative Strength Index, RSI, is rising. The awesome oscillator is pointing north. Momentum is clearly building. And now the bulls are aiming for one thing, $1.7365, the high from March 13th. If Pi hits that target, we're looking at a 135% rally from where we are right now. But there's always a but. Some analysts are waving caution flags. A rising wedge pattern is also forming. If that breaks downward, it could be a bull trap, a setup where traders jump in only to get dumped on later. If that happens, Pi could slide back to 40 cents, testing previous support. That's not a crash, it's more like a reset, a cool down, maybe even a healthy one, because nothing goes up in a straight line forever, not even Pi Network. So, what should we take away from all this? We're at a critical turning point, a moment where the future could swing in any direction. But here's the exciting part. This isn't just about price. The momentum we're seeing right now is more than just a temporary surge. It's the beginning of something much bigger and more long-term. The Pi Network community is waking up with fresh energy, and it's not just hype, it's action. Businesses are gradually opening their doors to accept Pi as a real form of payment, showing growing confidence in its value. At the same time, pioneers aren't just waiting around. They're building, innovating, and creating use cases that give Pi real-world utility. This rising wave of optimism feels different, more grounded, and more powerful, signaling what could be the true beginning of the Pi Network's real launch era, where vision finally meets reality. If the Pi KYC problem continues to improve and more users complete migration to the mainnet, then we're not just talking about charts anymore. We're talking about real utility, real use cases, and a real shot at mainstream crypto adoption. So yes, the charts look good, the rumors are hot, the fundamentals are shifting, and the community is buzzing. But even with all this momentum, we've got to move smart, stay patient, and keep our eyes locked on the bigger picture. The vision of a truly decentralized, people-powered economy. That's what makes Pi Network different from the rest. It's not just another project chasing quick gains or hype-driven pumps. It's about building real purpose, real utility, and a future where digital money actually serves the people. So whether Pi hits $1.73 next or dips back to 40 cents, this movement stays alive. It keeps growing, evolving, and reaching for something greater. Alright fam, that wraps up this Pi Network update. We've covered the full breakdown of Pi's massive 80% rebound, explored the potential 135% surge ahead, tackled the buzzing Binance listing rumors, talked about the possibility of a token burn, and dove deep into all the bullish chart signals that have the community hyped. This is shaping up to be one of the most exciting weeks in Pi Network news, and we'll be here watching every move. So if you haven't already, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss a single Pi update today. We're working hard to keep you informed, hyped, and grounded with every single twist and turn in this journey. Drop your predictions in the comments. Will Pi hit $1.73 this month, or fall back to 40 cents? Let me know what you think. And don't forget to rep your country by commenting Pi Network to the moon along with your location. You can also join our community on Telegram and Facebook. Links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Stay strong, stay Pi-tiant, and I'll catch you in the next video.